All right, last section of 2.4, or chapter 2 is 2.4. And it's all about circles, or equations of circles. So simply put, as a definition, a circle is a set of points in a plane that are equidistant from a fixed point. Okay, so I can't draw circles very well, but I will make my best attempt. So there's a circle. And I'm going to give it an ordered pair name. I'm going to call it just HK. So this distance, even though my picture doesn't look like it, from that fixed point out to any point XY is always the same. And we call that the radius. So I'm going to call it R. So we can use what we already know about distance formula to actually put an equation together. It would have to be that this distance we're calling R would be between the two endpoints here, would have to be the square root difference of the x coordinates, and I'm going to write that as x minus h squared plus y minus k squared. And then I'm going to just square both sides, eliminate that square root. That's going to give me r squared equals x minus h squared plus y minus k squared. And then I'm going to flip it. That's so I'm not going to just rewrite it as x minus h squared plus a y minus k squared equals r squared. And this last form is known as the standard form of the equation of a circle. Equation of a circle. So if you have it in this form, because this point here, that fixed point, again, is referred to as the center. And then that distance, of course, is the radius. So looking at this form, I can immediately identify what the center of the circle is. It's going to be the ordered pair. And I meant to put an H there. HK. And the radius is the value R. So if I had, say, x plus 3 squared plus y minus 4 squared equals, oh, I don't know, some random number. How about 36? What's the center? So that's any one of you guys. What do you think the center is? Give me the coordinates.
-3, 4.
That's it, -3, 4. All right, so right on. It's just a function of, you know, we look at this form, it's a difference right here. So I could have rewritten that as x minus a -3, double negation. So, you know, if that's, in addition, the coordinate itself of the center is going to be negative. And then same argument here, you know, if I see subtraction, then I know the coordinate itself is going to be positive. What is the radius?
6.
It is 6. Simply because in the standard form, that value is r squared. So to actually get r, you're going to take the square root of whatever that number is. All right. So you guys are right with this. Now, if you have an equation of a circle like looks like this, x squared plus y squared plus 8x plus by plus c equals 0. This is referred to as the general form. And honestly, general form of equation of a circle. And it's really just those perfect squares are multiplied out and like terms combine. But the one thing you cannot do is look at that and identify what the center and radius is. It needs to be in that standard form. So want to make a problem here. So let's say I had 2x squared. Let's keep it simple. Minus 4x plus a 2y squared plus 8x or 8y minus 14 equals 0. All right, so okay, and the question is determine the center and radius. So what you're going to have to do is rewrite this, which is in general form, into standard form, which means you need to create perfect squares. So anytime you need to create perfect squares, it's going to be completing the square. Get those perfect square trinomials. So what I would do first with completing the square, the leading coefficient has to be 1. And for circles, right now, this coefficient on x squared is not 1. But notice on y squared, it's also the same number. And that it has to be that way if it's to be a circle. If these numbers were different, say that was a 2 and this was a 3, you would no longer be dealing with.
Please disregard the fire alarms. They're testing the system. Please disregard. Thank you.
Right. It would be an ellipse. So the first thing I'm going to do is just divide everything by 2, make those leading coefficients 1. All right, so that's going to give me x squared minus 2x. I'm going to leave a space to complete the square. All right, got plus y squared plus 4y. And then I would have minus 7. It would be the constant part. I'm going to leave a space and take that negative 7 over to the right-hand side. So it'll be positive 7. All right, so completing the square, half the middle, which would be negative 1, and square that, which would give me 1. And that's the number that's going to give me a perfect square trinomial for the terms involved x with x. Now, because it's an equation, I need to add that to both sides. Same thing for y. So basically, I'm completing the square twice. Half of 4 is 2, and square 2, you get 4. So add a 4, gives me a perfect square trinomial. Add 4. All right, so here, that would be x minus 1 all squared. Plus, here I would have a y plus 2 all squared. And it looks like there, I'm going to have what, 12. So now I can look at it and say, okay, the center is 1, negative 2. And the radius is going to be the square root of 12, which I can factor out a root of 4. So 4 times 3, square root of 4 is 2. So simplified, still an exact value, 2 times the square root of 3. Any questions on that? All right. So
Divided by 2 squared. Divided by 2 squared.
Okay. Looking at the homework section itself, about 26 problems. First part, I think you're going to find pretty easy. The last ones, you're really finding equations, right? Determining equations of circles given certain information. And so if this is in the standard form, x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared, then to find an equation of a circle, I need two things. I need to know what the center is, and I need to know what the radius is. When I have those, I can plug them right into here, and boom, I've got an equation of that circle. So we're going to go through a few of the problems. Starts out, it just gives you a center and radius, and you plug in. I don't think you're going to have any trouble with that. And then they get maybe a little more difficult from there. I'm looking at number 18. This will be on the homework section on my math lab. So it gives you a center. It says the center is 2, -3 for a circle. So that's going to be straightforward enough. I'm going to be able to say x minus 2 squared and a y plus 3 squared. So it's really just what is the radius. And the only information they give you is this circle is tangent to the x-axis. Okay, so what does that mean? If a circle is tangent to a line, what does that mean geometrically?
Doesn't it mean it's
Does it?
touching?
Yeah, does he touching it?
I'm sorry?
It means it touching it?
Yeah. Now, how many points?
One.
One, that's it. That's the key thing. If the line was going through the circle at 2 points, oops. If it's 2 points, we refer to it as a secant line. So tangent, just 1 point. So just to kind of visualize this, the center was 2, -3. So 1, 2, down 3. So roughly here. But so this circle, it would have to be actually tangent right. This is the center, right at that point. So now the circle itself may go through the y-axis, but it's only going to hit the x-axis once. If I tried to draw it here and that was the center, it's going to make it go through the x-axis twice. So it's got to be right here. Now this point again was 2, -3. So just going up here onto the x-axis, that would mean that that point would have to be 2, 0. Good so far.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then the radius itself is going to be really easy to determine. It's going to have to be 3 units. So, voila, radius is 3. And that's all I needed to get the equation of the circle. I can now write x minus 2 squared plus a y plus 3 squared equals, and then I would actually write 9, because in that standard form, it's the value of the radius squared. And since the radius was 3, I would write a 9 there. Any questions on that?
No.
Good. All right. Well, I would also kind of talk you through. Want to look at one more problem. you were going to graph a few of these circles using the graphing tool. So this is number 16. And it gives you an equation of a circle of 3x squared plus 18x plus 3y squared equals 0. So first thing it asks for is the center and radius. So I'm going to have to put this in standard form. I would divide everything by 3, every term by 3, which gives me x squared plus 6x plus y squared 0. I'm going to go ahead and leave a space here. You're not going to have to complete the square here. It's just y squared. So the coordinate, the y coordinate in the center is going to be 0. Half of 6 is 3, and square of 3, I get 9. Add that to both sides. So I would get an x plus 3 squared plus y squared equals 9. So my center would be -3, 0. And my radius would be 3. All right, so you would put those values in. So -3, 0. I'm doing that right now. Radius 3. Okay, then it's going to ask you to graph. So you'll see a rectangular coordinate plane come up. You can click one button to enlarge the graph and work, or you can just click out on the graph itself anywhere. Toolbar comes up. On the toolbar, you have various graphs. You've done this already with lines, but you'll see one of the buttons is a circle, and it's a circle tool. So you click it, go in, find the center, which in this case was -3, 0. Once you have it there, click, and then you're going to move out in any direction you want, left, right, up, down, but go whatever the radius is, which in this case was 3. So I just move out 3 units. I was going to the right. As soon as I go 3 units, I'm going to click again, and then you just check your answer. The last thing this one asks for is the intercepts, so you literally can look at the graph at that point, and which in this case would be 0, 0, and -5, 0. All right. So that pretty much takes care of section 2.4. Again, there's about 20 some odd problems there in 2.4. So what we're going to do is I'll go ahead and assign the videos. Points. Let me also